Right, so this very first one, we're going to talk about what NCOs expect from soldiers. So I think whether you're a future soldier, whether you're brand new as a soldier, these are some things that I think we may not actually talk about enough when it comes to developing our subordinates. Because too many times I think we're just out grinding and doing things as hard and as fast as we can. And I think this is something that we need to expect from all of us, right? I think my boss, expects these things from me. So I don't think that these are things that only apply to junior enlisted soldiers, but certainly it does. So let's get this thing going. And of course, you know this this first one. If I tell you that there's 4 right things that you have to do, that your NCO expects you to do. Yeah, there's 4 of them, man, and there's a few more we're going to talk about. But there's 4 right things, because if you make 4 right angles, it makes you a squared away. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. I can't believe I keep saying this. But you have to be on time. Have to be on time at the right place in the right uniform with the right frame of mind. So if we do, the Army's so easy, right? If we do those 4 things at the bare minimum standard that there is, we're always going to be successful. We're probably going to stand out ahead of some of our peers. It's crazy talk. Like, how could it be so stinking simple? But there it is. Do those 4 things right, man, and you're never going to be wrong. I think, the next thing we got is just living the soldier's creed. It may sound cliche, right? But, it's... The profession of arms calls us to be creedal in how we live, right? To embody the creeds, whether it's a soldier's creed for all of us, creed of the non-commissioned officer for us who are NCOs. And I think we need to embody these things and be a little bit passionate about what we do. And when we're a little bit passionate, especially as a junior soldier, man, when you're passionate, people are going to ask you to do things that they may not ask other soldiers to do. And you may be asked to do things that are above and beyond your pay grade. You may have a little bit more responsibility, right? Or some accountability. But, if you love what you're doing, that's what it's really all about. So just live the soldier's creed. Remember why you came in. Why did you enlist? If this was your second duty assignment, or you've been grinding at your first one for a while and you started to lose sight of it, reconnect with why you originally came in the service. Remember that no man is an island, and you depend on your team and your team depends on you. Remember that at the end of the day, regardless of why you came in, regardless of what kind of team that you're a part of, at the end of the day, you got to be prepared in your heart and in your mind to do some pretty nasty work. And then it all just comes back down around to who you are and who we are, as soldiers. Right, so next up is just being present, right? Be present. And I don't mean like physically present in those 4 right things, although it's kind of the right frame of mind kind of fits into that. But man, you need to be present and aware. Have some awareness of what is going on in your surroundings. Have some presence of what's going on in the day, on the battle rhythm. Know what week it is. Know what day it is. We know that on Mondays there are certain things that are going to be a little bit different once we get back to normal than other days, right? So just make sure you have that awareness and spread some of that around. Give PT everything that you have. Give PT everything that you have. As a young NCO who's out there grinding and is out there doing young NCO things, if I have a team who's just given their best effort during PT as well as the rest of the day, but especially during PT, and there's just a system and a process to it, because it takes a while to learn how to puke and run, right? I don't like running. I'm a decent runner, but I don't wake up and go, oh, well, let's go on a run today, right? No, I mean, sometimes I do, but I'd prefer to run through the trails or something like that. But, learning how to puke and run, learning that no matter how good of a runner that you are, you're going to hit a wall at some point in time. You're going to cramp. You're going to hurt. Just give it everything you got. It's okay to put a little sweat on back, right? Sweat on back is like COP for the soul, man. You gotta lube it up a little bit. You need to over-communicate everything. And this applies to all of us, especially in these moments, and not just in these moments, but it really does apply all the time. You need to over-communicate everything about you, everything that's going on, because your leaders, your seniors are being asked hard questions about you. And right, wrong, or indifferent that these questions may or may not be, they are being asked, and people are being judged for knowing or not knowing. So if you withhold information thinking that, well, it's none of their business, or they don't really care, they don't need to know, I can take care of this at the lowest level. These are all dangerous lines of thinking that can get you and your organization looked at in the wrong light or the wrong manner. So make sure you communicate ahead of the time. Don't wait until somebody asks you a question. Just bring the stuff up. These are lessons that soldiers need to learn. They're lessons that NCOs need to learn. They're lessons that squad leaders and platoon sergeants and even first sergeants like myself need to learn. Hey, there's a little short, quick snippet to get us going into the right direction. If I can learn how to talk, and I hope you enjoyed. And I hope you all are enjoying the weekend, the holidays, time with the family. And we will keep this conversation rolling. If there's anything that you want to add, make sure you leave some comments down below, whether it's in response to what NCOs expect from their soldiers and or questions that you may have, or comments to me, about the channel, about the Army, about whatever. Leave them down below. I will respond back to you, and we can keep this conversation rolling. If you haven't already done so, make sure you like the video. And if you want to stay up to date on some future content and you want to be stoked, make sure you subscribe and click that notification bell, and you can stay up to date on some future content, man. As always, until then, we'll see you.